It's Nigeria's first pharmaceutical industry. But in its over 6 decades of opening shop in the country, May and Baker has never had it this bad with electricity. Not because it relies on public power supply to keep its factory running, far from it. In fact, the company has always relied on its own gas-fired turbines to keep its production running. But lately, the gas plant has ceased working. Head of the firm, Nnamdi Okafor, says that is already having a telling impact on production.
As it is today, we are running our factory at less than 50% capacity utilization. In the first place, we have never ever depended on our public power supply. We've always had our plan for electricity. And that plan was running on liquefied natural gas. In the past 6 weeks or thereabout, when the militants started blowing up the pipelines, we found that we could not have access to gas. So our power supply failed. And what we have done was to now fall back on our plan B, which is a 1,000 kVA generator. But of course, unfortunately, that cannot carry the whole facility. So we now have to run at less than half our installed capacity, and that's actually devastating because you have some fixed costs that you must run. So when your output comes down by 50%, then you can imagine the impact that will have.
It's virtually the same story for literally every manufacturer in the country. So bad is the power situation in Nigeria that from a high of 5,000 megawatts in February this year, it dropped to an unprecedented low of 0 megawatts on the last day of March. Authorities putting the blame squarely on vandalism. And it's not just the lack of electricity local manufacturers are having to struggle with. There's also the problem of access to foreign exchange to import raw materials. With the country's central bank introducing tighter forex controls to stave off pressure on the naira, manufacturers like May and Baker say their operations are now being threatened.
Some letters of credit that were established, that we have received consignments and used, we're not even able to pay. So that has rubbished our reputation for our foreign suppliers. As far as they're concerned, it's the company they know. And if they cannot get their money, then there's no way they will be willing to supply you in future. So we have burnt a lot of bridges, and to even get in fresh supplies is impossible, because today I'm not getting up to 20% of my foreign exchange requirements.
While May and Baker is still managing to keep running and keep its 800 workforce, it says it might be forced to downsize if the situation degenerates further. Already about 3 pharmaceutical companies in Lagos are closing shop, with the owners putting them up for sale, finding the current business environment unbearable. Nigeria is on the brink of a recession and local manufacturing is hard hit. The country posted a negative GDP in the first quarter of this year, and some experts have said it will only take a miracle for the country to miss a recession by the time the next GDP figures are released. The government is negotiating with militants to end the pipeline bombings, but so far it is not making any headway. The militants are still pressing ahead with the bombing of oil and gas facilities. It's beginning to seem like things might just get worse before they get better for Africa's biggest economy. Deji Badmus, CCTV, Lagos, Nigeria.